We got a big episode coming to you guys today. Thank you for joining me on the channel. It's the road to the NBA 2K series here in College Sports Revived. In the previous installment, we took down Donovan and the Portland Trail Blazers in a 5-game series in 4. And in this episode, we got some uncharted territory for us New Orleans Pelicans. For the first time in my NBA career, we're going to be breaking into the second round of the NBA playoffs, trying to navigate here, trying to make some noise here, and potentially face off against the Lakers or the Mavericks in the conference finals. We took down Denver in game 1, 107-94, and it was a pretty easy game. But we're going to see if we can continue that success into this episode. And whenever we get into the second round of the playoffs and beyond, it's going to be a 7-game series, so we're going to do our fair share of simulating as well. Coming into game 2 of round 2, we sport a 1-0 series lead, but here in game 2, we found ourselves trailing by 4 after a decent half for myself. I had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but not a very good job of getting my superstars involved. Josh Hart leads the way with 13 at the half, and I'm doing a good job on Jamal Murray, but I've only gotten Anthony Davis 4 shots from the field, so going into the second half, I'm going to need to continue to get him involved. And in the third quarter of play, it started to become a lot more of a competitive game. We overcome that 4-point deficit, and we're knotted up at 73s here, heading into the fourth quarter of game 2. I headed into the fourth with 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, but only 9 points. Doing a good job in all other facets of the game, except for finding my shot. It's been a little hard here in game 2. And as you guys know, at the tail end of the Portland series and in game 1 of this one, I've had trouble finding my shot as the playoff series continued to move along. And Nikola Jokic had trouble finding his shot in the first, but his majority of offense coming from the charity stripe in the second half, and we'll come back to that. As a high pick roll between he and Monte Morris gets him another open lane. This time it's me committing the foul. That's only my first of the game, but Nikola Jokic really making us pay and fueling the Denver offense from getting those free points at the charity stripe. But Denver's great start in the fourth would not only be limited to Jokic, as here is Gary Harris taking me one-on-one. Tough layup, but he kisses it off the glass. It's pretty obvious the hunger and the fight from these Denver Nuggets. They want to knot this series up before it goes back into their home ground. But here we are, back on offense as Monte Morris leaves me with a wide open lane. Nice feed from Josh Hart as we are up by 2. And Marcos Luzada Silva misfires that time from beyond the arc as Luzada Silva, great first round series against Portland, but he's had trouble finding his footing against Denver. But no worries, as Josh Hart has his back, doing it on both ends today. The Villanova product having one of his best playoff performances in his entire career. Under 9 minutes to play, another misfired 3 from Gary Harris. The 3-point line has not been very friendly to either side in this series, as Josh Hart, he puts down yet another basket to give me 8 assists on the night. And hey, I'm kind of on triple-double watch right now. I need 4 more rebounds, 3 more assists, but we all know that winning has to take priority, especially in the postseason. Marcus Morris drains a mid-range shot to put Denver back on top. And now your Pelicans back on offense. A parallel pick and roll between me and Richaun Holmes, fading away at the top of the key, and that would go over Monte Morris. My impact here in game 2 has been doing a lot of little things and getting my teammates involved, but hey, even my offense now is starting to heat up here in the fourth. But how about some possessions where I don't even need to touch the ball and we'll get a good shot? Great teamwork from AD to Josh Hart to Richaun Holmes, who floats it in from just outside the paint. We got to continue to play team basketball and spread out the attack if we want to take down this very tough Denver defense. But Jokic, not done. He's been putting pressure on Holmes in this entire defense all fourth quarter, just getting to the line. That's Holmes' 3rd personal foul. And after his really good game 1, Jokic needs a free throw just to get into double figures here in the fourth quarter. Back down by 2. Josh Hart gets a nice screen from AD, and he drops one off there on the left block. Josh Hart with 18. He's your Pelicans' leading scorer. Now with 5:10 left to play, Anthony Davis needs to be more involved. Not a great day shooting from him today, but how about this circus shot from the left wing? A fadeaway from almost 3-point range, and he gets the drop. Now here comes Jamal Murray, stop and pop on the break. That one's off the back rim. And Josh Hart collects the rebound, comes the other way with a head full of steam, gets past Jokic, but Jokic fouls to stop the layup. But what's this? Jokic, that foul would be his 6th. He has to leave the game. He's fouled out. Oh my goodness, and how ironic is that? Most of Jokic's points today, especially here in the fourth quarter, has been drawing fouls and making free throws, but he leaves the game in the same fashion. And look at this play, splitting the double team and a double clutch layup to boot. Not only is that a beautiful take to the cup, but that is a pivotal basket here with 3 minutes left to play in the fourth, as your New Orleans Pelicans are back on top after this beautiful layup, getting it around Nikola Jokic's replacement, Dwayne Dedmon. This crafty finish will give me 15 points on the game, and 6 of those have come in the fourth quarter, all big baskets. And on the very next possession, it was pretty obvious that without Nikola Jokic, their offense just decided to sputter here late in the fourth. How about this bounce pass to Aaron Catley? Not a very good game two for him. And obviously, that's just been the way it's been between Catley and Hart. One will be great, the other will be terrible, and then vice versa the next game. And today, Hart's our leading scorer, so of course Catley not with a good one. But how about Richaun Holmes sending back Alex Len? Denver trying to find substitutions here for Nikola Jokic. They bring in Alex Len now, and he is just not the answer. Another assist extends the lead to 6 as we keep the defensive intensity here late in the fourth quarter. It's turned up all the way, and Catley forces a 3, but Anthony Davis has the rookies back with a tip slam. I haven't said his name much today, but the unibrow has still been getting it done. Despite his shooting woes in the first half, he still finished with a double-double, and the unibrow is pumped. Everybody's pumped. Playing the best basketball we have all series long. There's no reason not to be. Up by 8 now. Here we go. Jamal Murray trying to drive again, and this one he slams down, and that leaves the door cracked open for Denver. Another decent game for Murray, but I've been doing a good job keeping him off the stat sheet. And how about Josh Hart with one more for the road? With the unibrow only putting up 15 points tonight, Josh Hart's performance has been so key. And Murray with low and last chance today, step back 3 off the mark. And we need one more exclamation point to really send Denver out of here. I have not made a 3-pointer in the playoffs. Until now. Let's go, boys. Let's go home and celebrate this Game 2 victory. And behind me and Josh Hart's explosive scoring abilities here in the fourth quarter, your New Orleans Pelicans will hold on for a 7-point lead, heading to Denver up 2-0 here in the second round of the playoffs. Josh Hart with a 20-piece tonight, including 2 steals, another great defensive day on Gary Harris. I had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and half of those 18 came in the fourth. AD with 15 and 12 and 3 blocks, and Glenn Robinson, another great day for him off the bench. Aaron Catley was his fair share of struggles, but he still made a shot here and there. And Richaun Holmes doing everything we can ask for. So far in the series, it's just been a battle of 2 really potent defenses. As we all know, Denver, one of the better rebounding and defensive-oriented teams in the league, kind of similar to us, really. But it seems like every time that the game starts to go down into the crucial moments, we just find a way to put more offense on the board than the Nuggets down the stretch. And we look to the Lakers and Mavericks series, and Dallas ties it up at 1 game apiece. Ferran with 18, 50% shooting from the field, but the big men of the Lakers not getting it done. And that's been the Achilles heel for the Lakers here in this series. Outside of LeBron and Ferran and Dame, their offenses looked very flat. And on the other side of things, Porzingis with a clean 29 points, and Deshaun with one of the best stat lines of his career, 28 and 12 dimes, along with another triple-double from Luka, and their rookie filling in for the injured Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey, 3 points per game on the regular season, but 13 points per game in the playoffs, so he's stepping up in a big way. Now here we are in Game 3, the first game in Denver territory, and we find ourselves down by 4 at the half. Anthony Davis starts to get it going though, and here we go. Catley 4 of 5 shooting, but Josh Hart 2 of 4, not many shots from him attempted. I have 6 assists, but my offense once again has also not looked very good. And the further we sim along into this game, we find ourselves up by 5. We go on a late run in the third quarter, and we have a bit of a cushion. And this is the first game of the series where there's been a lot of points put up. We'll see if that changes in the fourth quarter as Nikola Jokic gets it going with a nice dime from Jamal Murray. He's got 28, and he's been the main guy, of course, in the Denver offense. And on this possession, I find myself matched up 1-on-1 with Morris. A quick between the legs and a blow-by opportunity, a hop step. But this one, I hand off to Holmes, and he fights through some tough contact in the paint to put it down. Good offense from Richaun Holmes there, but we need him to start stepping up on defense. Jokic has eclipsed 30 points, and on the other end, Lee soars up through the skies to put it down with 2 hands. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but Lee, as he throws it down with 2 hands, continues his good day today. And Josh Hart hasn't looked very good on offense, just like we've seen so many times down the stretch here in the regular season and now in the playoffs. And we run again. This time it's AD throwing it down. It's a 360 as well. I haven't found him for many assists, surprisingly, in the Nuggets series. They've had a good defensive game plan on me and him, but there he is throwing one down. And this one I hand off to Josh Hart as he finally puts in a basket. The offense has been there today, even with Josh Hart's struggles. We're already up to near 100 points on the game, but we need to start stepping up on defense. And here's Jamal Murray. He gets those 2 points right back. It's still a 7-point game. Denver's still in this one. As you can see, I'm limiting Jamal Murray again to near 40% shooting. And he tries a 3 on the very next possession, but once again, it's Jokic cleaning up the mess, dunking over multiple Pelicans defenders. Unreal athleticism from a guy you don't really use the word athleticism with a lot. Jokic has had an unbelievable night tonight, and this dunk, plus the free throw, just adds to it. Sean Holmes normally a defensive anchor, but tonight he's getting lit up by Jokic as Jokic punches down another one, giving him 37 on the night. One more basket will tie his career high, but immediately I come right back the other end, and I hand it off to Anthony Davis, who responds quickly for the Pelicans offense. Just trying to survive this career night from Nikola Jokic as he drives the lane again, stop and pop off balance, and he still rattles it home. A 4-point game. Denver's still in this. A lot of offense, but we need to start to try to recapture that Pelicans defense we know we have. And this one I take one-on-one between Jamal Murray and I come out on top on that drive to the hoop. 13 for me on the game, along with a dozen assists. It's a 1-possession game now, and Josh Hart forces a turnover there. A very sloppy night from him, and Jamal Murray comes back the other end, and he scores again over me. We knew there was going to be some close games in this series, considering that us and Denver, we just play so much alike, so defensive-minded, and we're back on offense. Good defensive possession from the Nuggets. It's 5 seconds left. I go inside to AD, but he gets double-teamed, so I call for the ball, but I totally forget the situation. Oh man, what a bad blunder there. With about 1 second left on the shot clock, I called for it just because I saw the double team coming. But we've seen AD score with double teams like it's nothing here in the playoffs. And I completely choked that possession away. And on the very next time up the floor for Denver, Jokic lays in a basket. That'll give him his new career high. And at the same time, Denver sports their first lead of the 4th quarter. And they go inside to him again. A trap comes. Murray with the dagger opportunity, and he cannot get it to fall. We catch a break there. Up the other end, 40 seconds to play. I'm going down the lane, and AD will give us the lead with a huge lob. He cocked that thing way back, and he's hype. I've faced a lot of scrutiny over my years in the NBA so far. When you're a point guard of a team like this, whenever you can't deliver in the final moments of a game, you're definitely going to hear about it, and I almost did it again. But with that pass to Anthony Davis, I might have just redeemed myself, and we might have just held on to this game. Up by 1 going into this defensive possession. We'll see if we can close it out. Everybody's hype going onto the bench. With 37 seconds left to play, Jamal Murray surveys the floor. He tries to take it on me, a floater, but good help side by AD, and he gets the rebound over Paul Millsap. The unibrow coming up big on both sides of the floor. And with 24 seconds left, one more shot here can give us this win. And I see Josh Hart leaking open in the corner for the dagger. Not quite. Josh Hart cannot deliver this time, and he continues his frustrating day. And the Nuggets with one last chance to get it done. And if we blow this game because of me, I'm never going to hear the end of it from the critics. 13 seconds left. Will Barton with the screen for Murray, and it looks like they want the post up with Jokic, but then he comes out and screen for Murray. It looks like they want him to take the last shot. Step back, Murray for the lead, off the back rim and out, and there's no time to play. I force up a 3 so they can't foul me, and wow, we just make it out of Denver with a win, our 3rd of the series. They went to Murray, had a good look at it, but I just managed to get a hand up in time. It was a pretty good play they drew up for Murray with Barton setting the screen and then him going to the left wing and Jokic, the big body Jokic, setting one for him as well, but it just wouldn't be enough. Your player of the game is Anthony Davis with 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, and a huge lob there to have us take the lead from yours truly. And Josh Hart, even though he didn't shoot well, he still put up 15, and Kaylee with 15 as well. And on the other side of things, Nikola Jokic with a new career high 41 for him tonight still was not enough for him and his Denver Nuggets. 14 rebounds as well, 5 assists from the 7-foot Serbian, and Jamal Murray with 21 and 7. But once again, I'm holding him to not very good shooting numbers percentage-wise, and it was pretty interesting to see Game 3 be so offensively oriented after Games 1 and 2 were 2 defensive grinded-out games. And here we are back in Denver for Game 4 to see if we can sweep these Denver Nuggets in a clean 4 games. And I would start pretty quick out of the gates, first 4 points coming in the early goings, but then Jamal Murray, my matchup, also had a pretty quick start in this one too, making me look silly, putting me in a blender on that spin move to a layup. And Denver, it would be all Nuggets here in the early goings. They're up to a quick 14-8 run. And here in the early goings, it hasn't been the defense. The defense has done a complete 180 from Game 3, but it's been offensively that we've had our troubles. But Aaron Kaylee kind of mitigates that issue with a three-pointer there. He missed his first 3 attempts from beyond the arc, but he finally gets that one to go. Now we're in the second quarter, a bit of a lead for your New Orleans Pelicans as Anthony Davis drops in one from underneath, and we're starting to build a little bit of a cushion here. Only 30 points allowed from Denver, as finally, when we started to get our offense going, they continue to have their struggles, but Gary Harris, who's not had a very good series so far, drops one in from beyond the arc. And starting the third quarter, we find ourselves up by 8, but this is where the problems started to come along. Still up by 6 here with 7 minutes to go, but as you can see, only 1 basket for us in the second half. And Monte Morris fires and hits 1 from 3 as they start to get their three-pointers going. A quick fact about Monte Morris is that actually in college, he went to Iowa State, and he actually holds the NCAA record for assist-to-turnover ratio. Pretty interesting there, but look at me stepping on the line, and there's been a lot of that for us in different spurts. It seems like we just get really sloppy here in Game 4, and it's hard to capitalize on offense when we're turning over the ball as much as we do. And you don't see that from us a lot. We're pretty composed team, but we step out for a second, get subbed out, and we come back in down by 7. So the bench not doing us any favors either here in Game 4. And now on this possession, it's actually a screen for me. I only have 8 points on the game. I've had trouble getting my shot going, but would you believe that a three-pointer, a green light at that, would be the way I get going a little bit here in the third? Yeah, I finished off this game doing really well with my shot as I get another one to drop there. I didn't make much of an impact in the first half, only 8 points and 3 assists whenever we hit the intermission, but I'm starting to get more acquainted with the offense. But now on this possession, just a very frustrating third quarter. We almost got the steal on Gary Harris, but he keeps his dribble alive and he finds Jokic for a slam. And I had enough, man. I was so frustrated here in the third. Our defense completely just unraveling. So I tip a pass there. I saw that coming from Murray, and we're out on the break. Holmes hands it off to me. A bounce pass, a really beautiful one at that. And Josh Hart soars up and slams it down with nobody in his path. Got to just continue to get back to what we know. Continue to force stops and let it lead to easy offense. As Murray, we catch a break there. Misses an easy floater, and my dimes would not be done here. Nice job by Kaylee moving across the baseline and finding some open space there underneath the rim. And with the game clock coming at a premium right now, only 4 minutes left to play, we try to continue with the quick offense, but Denver so good on defense, and it immediately comes back with Will Barton slamming one down on the other end. They show it's how it's done. We've done that a few times this season. When we're down in a game, we do a pretty good job of forcing turnovers and using quick offense to our advantage, but Denver being so good on defense, they started to shut that down in this game. But how about this highlight reel play right here on Jamal Murray? Ripping his pocket, making him look silly with the crafty layup. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't be much more than that. Just a highlight reel play to add to my mixtape, because it would be a 10-point loss. I'd get subbed out shortly after that. And in the second half, I started to turn it on. But I also had a lot of my turnovers in the second half as well. When Denver started to catch on with our fast-paced play, they forced a lot of turnovers from me especially. And yeah, we cannot let Denver get ahead in the next upcoming games in the series if we want to close them out, because they made it really hard for us to get back in this one. Richaun Holmes had a tough day. Anthony Davis only 11 made shots, and you can see down here, Glenn Robinson suffering broken ribs today. Maybe one of the reasons why our bench was not very good and relinquished a pretty big lead is because we didn't have Robinson's services. And if you guys know, he's been pretty good in the playoffs, more impactful than I'll give him credit for. And we're going to be without him, so we're going to have to try to survive this series against Denver without Glenn Robinson. And Luzada Silva, you can see as well, cold. That's not helping either. His second round against Denver compared to his first round against Portland, it's been night and day. But we take another look back on the other side of the West, Lakers and Mavericks, and it would be Dallas. And another tough offensive day for the Lakers, only putting up 86. So LeBron and Ferran down 3-1 now in this series. And Deshaun led all scorers for the Mavericks. He put up 21, and the rookie Tyrese Maxey with another good game, almost breaching 20 points. We'll dive deeper into the East at the end of the video, but as you can see, Jason Tatum leading the Celtics up 2-1 against the MVP Giannis, and the Brandon Ingram-less Miami Heat tied with Ben Simmons and the Sixers at 2 games apiece in that series. So we have to have a short memory of that frustrating Game 4, because here in Game 5, in front of our home fans, we still have that chance. A chance to clinch our first Western Conference playoff berth here in this series, and we also have a chance to do it in front of our home fans as well, so that'd be double sweet if we can get it done here in Game 5. And after Nikola Jokic set his new career high in Game 4, I expected nothing different for them to go to him on the first play of the game, but Catley picks his pocket. They thought they had the mismatch, but little did they know Catley was hunting for that basketball, and on the other end, I decided to reward him. He was the trailer on the break, handed it right off to the rookie, and he steps up, hits 2 of 2 from the line, and his reign of terror would not end there here in the early goings. He swishes home a 3, Catley off to a quick start. And continuing on this possession, they still continued to put the ball in Jokic's hands. Another miss for him, and look how physical it is down low. All that banging and fighting for that rebound. Both teams are top 5 in the league in points allowed and rebounds a game, and you could see here in the series, it's been a very tough old school type series, and Catley at the end of that break, I assist to him again. And Hart gets it to go as well. And we all know how tough this offense is to deal with if we can get Hart and Catley both going on the right track. But Jamal Murray would lead the way for Denver on the other end. He gets me with the crossover. And if Catley's the one supplying the offense for us, Murray would be doing it for Denver. He's got 8 out of their first 10 points so far. Now back on offense. Does Hart have another one in him? No. Instead he makes a smart play. Nice job by myself moving without the ball. And we take the lead right back, 11-10 here with 5 minutes off the clock. And Jokic tries it again, and Richaun Holmes redeeming himself after getting lit up last game. He blocks him there, and how about a strong take, as I saw Denver playing those passing lanes like they did last game. That's why I had 7 turnovers in Game 4, is because Denver was really cheating that pass. So that time I just take it strong all the way, and I make 2 of 2 from the line. And after those made free throws, I would be the only starter left on the court right now. A lot of our second team coming in here late in the first quarter, and Luzada Silva grabs his own miss. He lets us have another chance to score on this trip up the floor. And with 5 seconds left, I got a big guy on me, Juan Hernan Gomez, and I want to take him. 1 second left, just getting off this crazy layup before that shot clock buzzer rings in our ears. And this time I attack Monte Morris, and as you can see, just getting it off before the buzzer sounds. Maybe 0.2 left on the shot clock before I got the one out of my fingertips. And here comes Will Barton. Alex Len and Jamal Murray attacks once again with a floater. And Murray in a similar situation as I am. He's the only starter on the court right now for Denver, so he's trying to lead their troops. And here comes Nikola Mirotic off the screen as he makes a very contested jump shot from the corner. Mirotic, a 6'8" wing, his hometown is Montenegro, and he's been huge for us off the bench. He leads the bench in points per game at 9.7. And here's Mirotic setting a screen for me as I finally get a jump shot to fall here with 2 minutes left to go in the first. Points coming at a premium for both sides. We were the only team to break 20 in the first quarter. But now the starters check back in, and right off the inbound, Anthony Davis, cold off the bench, cold no more, makes a jump shot there, extending the lead to 5, and it would continue to swell to 9 here on this possession. And Murray going back to a move I've seen a few times here in the series, that spin layup so hard to stop. But to be honest with you, he had 14 in the first half, but he hasn't looked that good here in the second. Our defense continuing to get better at defending him. And Richaun Holmes is the inbounder, and I keep my eyes on him the entire time. How about a nice pass there, threading the needle between multiple Denver defenders there. If you like old school NBA basketball similar to the 90s, well, Game 5 is the game for you. Both sides barely combining for over 40% shooting, and points have been very hard to come by. And even in situations where we should score, like here with Aaron Catley, we just can't. And it's been like that for Denver too. Jokic with a really tough day. And the only guy manning that offense is Murray right now. He's got almost half of their 40 points right now. And I try to thread another needle this time. Bit off a little bit more than I can chew here at the end of the half, as Will Barton's three, no good. And I've had quite a few possessions like that here going into halftime. I had a pretty good start to this one, but as the time has gone on, I just seem to have slowed down and I started turning over the ball, and I've had to look more to Anthony Davis to score the rock, as he's the only Pelicans offensive player in double figures. And starting the second half, Murray would continue to try to find his shot, barely missing that crazy three-pointer there, and nobody stops the ball. I need to do a better job this game of letting the offense come to me. I really started to force the issue too much going into halftime. And here comes that defense, that grit and grind game I've been telling you guys about. Everybody finding underneath the boards, and Josh Hart finally comes down with it. And this one would be just a handoff to AD as he muscles through Paul Millsap to drop in another basket. And in my head, I'm thinking on this possession, hey, I didn't have a very good first half shooting the ball, but I've made one here. Let's see if I can keep it going with a mismatch, and that I do. Made it look really easy getting past Morris, and another finish at the rim. Up by 5 now as Paul Millsap can't get it to go, and everybody helping out on Jokic. And look, more banging down low. AD with a huge rebound over multiple defenders, and an even better pass from Aaron Catley, as there's a slam for myself. When this Pelicans offense gets going, especially in the full court, I don't have to be the one with the ball. I can continue to find my shots if I just run the lane and trust in my teammates to take care of the ball. But on this possession, Paul Millsap gets Anthony Davis, as those two were fighting for the rebound, but Paul Millsap with a big and one keeps Denver in the game. And we force another miss on Jamal Murray. Coming up the other end, I have me and Monte Morris one-on-one. I get him with the up fake, and I put in yet another finish. And we all know Monte Morris, one of the better defenders in the league, but it's been the fundamentals that have gotten me to this level of basketball I'm playing at now, and I need to continue to use them. Now up by 6, with a few minutes left to go in the third, picking Murray's pocket, really slowing him down since his big first quarter. And Marcos Luzada-Silva with finally a positive play. That was like a Lonzo Ball touch pass there, finding him in stride. And Marcos Luzada-Silva not done there. A pull-up Baby J, and we finally have our first 10-plus point lead of the contest. And even though Marcos has had a tough series, it seems like he's saving all of his firepower here when it matters most here in Game 5. 9 points for him in this third quarter, and 11 for him on the ball game. And Murray forcing another floater, that one off the mark. Just got to continue to run as I find yet another lane as I'm soaring up for another jam. It's been a while. I don't think I've ever had a game where I've dunked more than one time. I'm not really the type of player to live above the rim, but with how well we're playing here, in this third quarter, anything can happen, and we find ourselves up 11. We're just 1 quarter away if we can keep it up. 1 quarter away from our first conference finals berth in this series, and Josh Hart coming out with a head of steam. You know he's hungry for that berth, as there is a layup to put it to 9. 7:45 left to play. We run another play for Josh Hart with a hand in his face, and he still pockets the triple. It's been a game of explosions. Marcos Luzada-Silva had his, I had mine, Anthony Davis, and now Josh Hart going on a personal run of his own, as there's his signature celebration. It's been a while since we've seen that one, since he's been so up and down, but it's in full force here in this one. More good defense being played, knocking it away from Murray, and Jokic is forced to take a terrible shot at the end of the shot clock. And I see a few guys leaking out, but I decide to give it to Catley, and off his back foot, another one goes for us. I'm doing this recording a day later after playing this game, and I still can't believe he got that one to go. An unreal shot by the Rook. And another stop force for our defense. No look pass as Josh Hart continues with his run here in the fourth quarter. Can you believe this finish? Everything going down for the Pelicans here, as the lead looks like it's about to approach 20 here. And now a handoff as AD puts Nikola Jokic in his place. Every player on the floor wearing New Orleans across his chest knows how close they are to that conference finals berth. And they are hype. And head coach Anthony Thornton, even though he looks as stern as ever, he knows how close he is as well. And at the end of the day, it would be a 14-point victory for the good guys. What a great team win here in Game 5. Everybody stepping up, Everybody had their 15 minutes of fame here. Anthony Davis with a huge second half, giving him 29 on the game, and he's your player of the game once again. And even guys like Josh Hart, Marcos Luzada Silva, and myself, everybody had their spurts where they scored the Brock and finally got our offense going, as points came at a premium in the first half, but when we started to play our game and started to make shots, get out in the open floor, it was no contest. We blew Denver out of the water in the second half and suffocated their offense. Even Jamal Murray, who had a great first half, 14 in the first quarter, but only 9 of his 30 points came in the second, 2 of 10 shooting in that second half as well. Jokic with his fair share of struggles as we suffocated their offense in the second half. So, time to find out who we're going to play in the conference finals. And the Lakers facing a 3-1 series deficit. LeBron's done it before in real life and in the series. If you guys remember, the Lakers were down 3-1 against Philadelphia in the finals last year. Managed to seal the deal, winning 3 in a row, and they won in Game 7. So if there's anybody that can do it, it's LeBron. And hey, they won Game 5 and Game 6. Dallas with a 5-point second quarter. Unbelievable defense. And from there, it was the Lakers all the way. So forcing a Game 7, time to find out who we're finally going to be playing. The Lakers, have they finally overcome their offensive woes? Well, the quick answer to that question would be, unfortunately, no. As Ferran and LeBron, not a very good first half, only 37 points as a team. And after their dominating first half performance, Dallas didn't look back from there in Game 7. Deshaun, one of the best stat lines we've seen in one half, filling up the stat sheet, and it would be a 30-point Mavericks victory here in Game 7. Deshaun only scored 2 points in the second half, but he had 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a couple blocks as well. So him just filling up the stat sheet in other ways other than scoring, as he's really started to cultivate his other skills other than scoring. We're going to take a look at the East as well. In a Game 7 of the 76ers and Miami Heat series, despite missing Brandon Ingram, the Heat still take it to 7 and only lose on a heartbreaker, a 1-point game in Game 7. And the Sixers will be facing the Milwaukee Bucks. Jason Tatum, 5th in all scores and points per game in the playoffs at over 25 a game. He did his best to try to lead the Celtics, and Marcus Smart with the weirdest stat line I've ever seen. 10 assists and 0 points, but the MVP, Giannis, coming out on top in 6 games. So in the East, it's going to be the 76ers and the Bucks. And in the West, it's your New Orleans Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks. As we take a look at the stats so far, you see the story through these numbers. I'm still leading all players in assists per game. Anthony Davis, his points per game still going up. He's at 23 a game for now. And Josh Hart and Aaron Cayley, despite them going back and forth, one having a good game, one being off, you guys know the story. They're still both at 13.6 points per game. Pretty interesting there. And finally, the Deshaun's Mavericks. Luka, 28 points, seemingly putting up triple-doubles in every game he checks into. Porzingis continuing to elevate his game. We've never seen him average 20 points per game, but he's doing it here in the playoffs. And Deshaun averaged 20 in the regular season. His scoring's down, but his rebounds, assists, steals, all of that is up in the playoffs, so he's finding other ways to contribute other than scoring. We've had a rivalry with Dallas, just like we have with Portland. Dallas took us down in the first round last year. We'll see if we can return the favor here in the conference finals in the next episode, so stay tuned.